part of the wide world of VOCM.
When I started working at CHVO in Carbonear, a station belonging to the wide world of VOCM back in 1989, that was the station ID we used to play. They asked me for an acceptance video, but having worked in radio for 3 decades, it's behind the mic where I'm most comfortable, not in front of the camera. I still think of myself as a pup, but when I hear that, it makes me realize just how long I've been in this business. When I started radio in Carbonear, that's a town in Conception Bay North from where my mother's family belongs, and a place to which I have deep roots and a strong personal connection, tens of thousands of Newfoundlanders were still prosecuting the cod fishery. The Berlin Wall and the Twin Towers were still standing. We still used cart machines and spun vinyl records. And pandemics were something we only read about in history books. I did the opposite of most young people in the 1980s. Instead of leaving Newfoundland for work, I came back to Newfoundland from Montreal, longing for that sense of belonging and with the single-minded determination of making a go of it. Well, 33 years later, almost 34, and following stints in Carbonear and Gander, and eventually moving to St. John's in 1995, I'm still at it, working with people whose parents are younger than I am. I've worked with a lot of famous names in the local radio business over the years. Mike Critch, who a lot of you would know now because his son's popular television program, Son of a Critch. Jerry Phelan, Vince Gallant, Brian Medore, a host of people, some of whom have passed on, others who have moved on to make their mark in other industries, broadcast and otherwise, and a lot of bright young talent who seem to love it as much as I do. I've often had people ask me over the years, why are you still at VOCM? Why are you still in radio? And the answer is, I love it. I love not knowing what's in store from one day to the next. I love the immediacy and the intimacy of radio and of reporting on germinating events that have eventually become part of our amazing and varied collective history. We were social media long before social media was ever a thing. I love working with people who, when one of the largest blizzards in history was bearing down on St. John's and many people were trying to get home as soon as they could, came to work with their bags packed with toothbrushes and lunches and blankets, including me, knowing without being told that what turned out to be Snowmageddon would mean living in the station literally for days. And that's what we did, 3 days. I feel blessed to have had a 3-decade career with the same company when privately owned news organizations have faced some pretty extraordinary challenges. I want to thank those who nominated me for this prestigious recognition, and I accept it humbly, seeing some of the incredible talent represented among my peers and predecessors, and a bit bashfully knowing that I'm probably going to be at this for a lot longer yet. So I want to thank you all very much.